thing here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Go crazy at Bob Walker. Go nuts.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Your Razorbacks are 2021 SEC champions. And Bob Walker Stadium is an insane asylum.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Hello, Arkansas. How's it going today? I just want to put it out there before he even gets a chance to talk on the show just for a moment here. I've put my life in danger by being a very big co-host today, welcoming in Drew Barrett, our new halftime co-host, Matty T, of course, Phil Elson, in studio today and alive. Did make it here for a moment. I was a little nervous that I wouldn't. This is not the best day for driving across the natural state, certainly coming in from northwest Arkansas to the fort. Yikes.
Was it a little windy out there?
A little windy. I could have shaken hands with a lightning bolt coming down 49. Yeah, so it's a moment to collect my thoughts and be thankful that I haven't had to do all this back and forth driving that I had been doing up until September. But
that
hey,
explains your pre-show thoughts and prayers.
That's exactly right. And now my thoughts and prayers are really just on welcoming in Drew Barrett and making him feel comfortable here. Drew, I made it here to the fort. I finally get a sense of what you look like. I now know I'll never work with anybody that's any smaller than I am because it's just a streak that I'm on here too. You all right today? Was good on the morning rush? We ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Really excited for this opportunity to be here, not only with you, Phil, but with Matty, who's been helping me out a lot to helping me adjust to how this station runs, because as you know, you've worked in radio for a long time. Every station has its own unique and quirky ways of doing things. So Matty T has done a great job of helping me transition into this role. And I'm just really excited. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is a brand new Arkansas hat. I've never worn it. My girlfriend, who is very supportive back in Memphis, bought me this hat when I got the job. So I'm trying my best to acclimate to Arkansas red and get away from Memphis blue, because that's all my closet is.
Well, you started with a white hat with the red logo, and folks who can't see him on our live stream, he does have the side-facing Razorback there. So that's going to put you in good graces.
Okay, good.
With a lot of listeners. I guess the first thing you'd want to know is that I would just say most, I don't know what the percentage would be. Everybody's favorite logo for the Razorbacks is the one that's on that hat.
All right, good.
The front-facing one is the one that, I don't say get you into trouble. It's the more controversial. People have more opinions about the front-facing hog.
I mean, I get that. Pretty much every team kind of has that secondary weird type of logo that it just doesn't make sense. I mean, back home for the University of Memphis, the tiger leaping through the M, that's the 100% guaranteed, tried and true Memphis logo. They went to just the tiger head. It just never looked right. It never looked comfortable on anything, and just was weird. So it's kind of like the front-facing Arkansas head. And when you go from a full-body logo to a head logo, it never feels right. The only one that I know that looks right is obviously my Baltimore Orioles with just the Oriole head. Now, that's just a tried-and-true classic Major League Baseball logo. But anything else, it just never seems to translate very well.
I think another thing people really don't like about the front-facing hog is that it gets confused every once in a while with the red wolf from ASU.
And I can see that. They do look a little similar. I mean, color schemes with the red and black in there, it's definitely similar.
You definitely don't want that. Now, I have experience, putting a Razorback hat on for the first time and thinking to myself, does it fit? Does it look right? I've never worn one of these before, and now I almost never take one off. I don't know what you're like, but I'm
a big hat guy.
I don't have much hair, but it's not because of the hat. I haven't been covering up the baldness with the hat. I've just been pretty much wearing a hat since the age of 7. But it hadn't been a Razorback hat until I started doing the baseball games. So, but yours is unsmudged. Looks like it's perfectly brand new, right off the rack, and it fits you pretty well. So good.
Well, I'm glad it looks genuine. That I wanted to come out here, wear my red shirt, and show that I'm committed. I'm here to learn. I'm here to be fully wrapped into the Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville Razorback culture. And I'm ready for our listeners to teach me the fundamental things that I need to know.
Well, if you got anything that you want to teach them about the Razorbacks, because I can't do it all, 877-377-6963, calls and texts.
Is Drew going to teach us about the mean streets of Memphis?
Oh, I will.
It's only a 2-hour show, by the way.
I noticed he's already put in some of their music.
Yeah, especially with the bumper music. I
can't wait to see how it's received.
I'm going to bring some Memphis soul into it.
This is where you start to learn the personality of the co-host is by the fringes of the show, the edges of the show, because I'm not going to give you too much input about that stuff. You'll see you'll have plenty of, what's the term here to use, artistic latitude.
Freedom.
Okay.
Yes. You'll have plenty of artistic latitude and longitude, I think, for all that kind of stuff. All right, so I didn't watch any of the U.S. Open this last weekend. I'm not a golf guy, so I don't watch golf on TV. I've played golf maybe 6-7 times in my life.
Really?
I do have a set of clubs. I can swing them. I just usually have been to the ballpark, so it hasn't worked out that way. So I didn't watch any of the U.S. Open. I did force feed myself the College World Series. Like, I actually held my eyelids open and forced myself to sit on the couch and do other things at the house because my kids were arriving this weekend, so I got to prepare for them, meaning I've got to reorganize things out of the state that it had been in, which is, kids will be here soon, and then, oh, by the way, it's 5 days later, better get it ready. But I forced myself to watch the College World Series because I'm interested in it, for one, but it was painful to do.
You're not there.
And I found myself.
And you've been in Omaha the last 4 years in a row.
Arkansas's been there
two.
the last 2 times.
Okay, my bad.
And 3 times since I've been calling the games. But you do kind of get used to it. And then this year, when you're number 1 all that time, it's not like I've legitimately was planning for it, but there was an expectation that since they were playing so well, it was going to happen. Didn't happen. But I find myself, and I think Razorback fans might have had the same attitude with the men's basketball tournament after being eliminated by Baylor. It's a different situation because with the Baylor-Arkansas thing, you could tell, Baylor really was the class.
Just that good.
They were the class of it was just the class of that game. They were the class of that tournament. It was pretty obvious. I rooted for Baylor after that because I thought they were a lot of fun. They were a good team, and I appreciated that. I felt Arkansas played them maybe as well as anybody would. NC State's different. They're the underdog. They are the underdog of this whole thing, of this whole College World Series, and they have been an underdog pretty much for the last 2 months. But I found myself rooting for them in a little bit of the same way that I did with Baylor, because I don't want any of the SEC teams to win this College World Series. Over for all of us, and I've heard a lot of people put this out there too. It's like over my dead body that Mississippi State or Tennessee will get there first before Arkansas.
Yeah, that seems to be the ultimate field that nobody has a problem if it's Vandy. Because, obviously Tim Corbin is a legend in college baseball, especially at Vanderbilt. They always had a great program. When I think of Vanderbilt University, the first person I think of is David Price. That's just how important baseball is for that university and how good they really are.
It's a baseball school, and there's no denying that. It's the same about Mississippi State, too, by the way, but they don't have the national championships. And they don't have the excuse that Vanderbilt would have if we legitimately don't care about football. I think it's a baseball school that would like to be a football school but isn't.
Oh, it definitely is. And you get that feel when you're in Nashville that it's really the only thing outside of the pro teams that anybody on that side of the state cares about. And when it comes to Tennessee and State, obviously there is that SEC pride. It just means more. We want to prove that we're the best, but doggone it, you're not getting yours first before I get mine, and especially Tennessee. Well, and I've always had that feeling with Tennessee being from Memphis that they're not winning anything before we do. That it just ain't going to happen, especially basketball.
But Vanderbilt's already got the 2 national championships. I still don't want them to win a third, and it would be back-to-back. I don't want that to happen either. I really don't. And Texas, please. I heard on the guys in the morning rush. It's like you're rooting. Who are you going to pick between Mississippi State and Texas? It's like, well, I'd rather for both teams to get through the game healthy, and then somebody really one of those two is gonna make it into the championship round. I'd rather Texas not win their 11,000th baseball national title. I'd rather it be a team like NC State. To be honest, to say, and then in our minds, for Razorback fans' minds, and really for a lot of other minds too that just pay attention to college baseball, you could say the only thing that could have kept Arkansas from getting to the College World Series and maybe a national championship was the hottest team in the sport. who, oh, by the way, beat a team in Stanford that laid waste to Texas Tech and beat and look out Vanderbilt. I'll say that. I mean, this is going to be a really interesting game tonight, which I'll be paying attention to pretty closely. NC State taking on Jack Leiter, that lineup against a guy who's been pitching better, I think, than Rocker for most of the season. All right, we're moving into college football after the break. There's been a big decision coming down from the Supreme Court, and any time that the Supreme Court of the United States is unanimous,
pretty big deal.
Really? In today's day and age, I guess a pretty obvious ruling coming from the Supreme Court, and it's going to affect college sports. 877-377-6963. Stay with us on halftime.
We're talking with Rick Copps this morning, the father of Kevin Copps.
The fan base to start with is overwhelming. I mean, there was people lined up for miles doing barbecue and the facility.
A dandy white perch, big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch, big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool.
Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Phil.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the patio and cozy dining room. River City Bistro, locally owned and open weekdays 11 till 8, Saturdays 10 till 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Make your car buying experience better at Hertz Car Sales. The goal is to provide customers with a wide selection of low-mileage, extra-clean vehicles, providing their buyers with a better way to drive. A professional sales staff, quality customer service, along with a relaxing atmosphere is what you find every time at Hertz Car Sales. What are you waiting for? Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or call them today at 783-1722. You can also check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales, when you're ready.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Costello going to throw on second down. Has time underneath. Intercepted. That's Brooks at the 35 to midfield. He's got a chance to go to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Arkansas! Greg Brooks with a pick six, and the Hawks strike first.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, the Hog Talk Podcast. Fantasy Football Sunday and Primetime Preps, all available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Our podcasts are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, hitthatline.com, Anchor, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Play.
All right, I got a couple of questions that I wanted to ask you, Drew, and listeners too, before we get into this deal with the Supreme Court, because this is the kind of thing that carries a show for a couple hours. Answers from listeners and from hosts as well. Because I force-fed myself the College World Series, and I'm going to watch this whole thing. I might watch every game, just like I would if I was there with the Razorbacks. Have you ever boycotted watching a major sporting event just because you could not bear? That's one. The other is, did you ever root for the team that vanquished yours on their way to a championship? And I got two answers. One, I rooted for the 1990 Cincinnati Reds in the World Series against the A's. They had just beaten the Pirates in 6 games in the NLCS. And my feeling then was, boy, the Reds were a lot of fun to root for. Chris Sabo, Eric Davis, Paul O'Neill, Jose Rijo, really great, and the Nasty Boys out of the bullpen. It was a lot of fun. I thought the Pirates would be back to the playoffs, which they were. And then after losing to the Braves 2 in a row, I became as anti-Brave as anybody you've ever met. The other answer I've got for you is that I could not watch Super Bowl 29, which was the Niners beating San Diego and beating them like a drum. It's because San Diego won the AFC title game in Pittsburgh as a total Cinderella against the team and the Steelers that should have been the AFC champions, and then you would have had the Steelers-Niners going for their 5th each. I watched 4 plays of Super Bowl 29. 2 of them were touchdowns, Steve Young to Jerry Rice. That's all you needed to know about that game. Otherwise, I'll watch any other major event. Never said I'm never going to watch the World Series because the Pirates lost, and let's be honest, I never have to worry about that anyway. So
you really don't.
So those are the questions I got for you.
I don't know if I've ever truly boycotted an event. Now, obviously, it's felt sad that my team wasn't in it. And just like you said, rooting, off the top of my head, really the only 2 that I could really think of was in 2014, kind of the same situation. Your Pirates and my O's had just gotten swept in the ALCS to the Royals, who were unfortunately had to play the Giants in an even-year number in the early aughts. So they obviously lost in 7 games, but was really rooting for the Royals in that one. And I hate that I have to admit that I had to root for them because I absolutely hate them. I hate everything they stand for. Danny White is no longer the AD there. He's now, unfortunately, in Knoxville, but I still hate UCF. And unfortunately, in 17 and 18, after they beat Memphis in the AAC championship, I was rooting for them in the New Year's Six to kind of bring that whole P6 mentality that Mike Oresco has been peddling around since the beginning of this. And it really turns my blood that I actually had somewhat of rooting interest for UCF because and I know that I've been to a lot of SEC stadiums. I know the Power 5 and all that. The fans really get into it, and they can be pretty nasty. But I don't know, Phil, if you've ever seen 2 college kids yell at say F you to a 5-year-old of an opposing team. Because I sure have down in Orlando, Florida, as 2 Central Florida students told a father and 5-year-old son wearing Memphis colors, F you, go back to Memphis, you criminal gangsters.
Holy moly.
Word for word. No lie.
There's some Southern hospitality for you, my friend.
So.
Well done, UCF fans. They just weren't gonna be one big happy AAC family, were they?
No. Goodness gracious.
Do they ever? You were coming from more of the AAC fan perspective. Really, more than anything, you probably want to try to break up that quote unquote monopoly of big time college football amongst the, let's say, Autonomy 4. They put the Pac-12 in there, but they really haven't.
Kind of the side.
But maybe there'll be a player again under this new structure that's being proposed. All right, so the big news already came out, and we were going to talk about the college football playoff and that sort of stuff, but it does seem like the ground continues to shift underneath college sports, and now this what seems like a massive decision from the Supreme Court, a 9-0 decision, so unanimous, which in this day and age, I know that there was a recent unanimous decision too, but it really was unanimously not unanimous. The deal in Philadelphia, but that's a whole other thing. In this, if I'm the NCAA, you're looking at the idea that it is the Supreme Court is viewing them as a monopoly right now.
Which they are.
I mean, it is understood in a sense that they really are a monopoly.
Until the NIA or NCCAA, the National Christian College Athletic Association, has a foothold in college sports, the NCAA owns a monopoly. I mean, they make all the money. They make all the rules. If that's not the definition of a monopoly, then I need to go back to 10th grade social studies.
The aspect of this, though, is that the NCAA is the schools that make them up. That's the whole idea behind that. And now, this rule of not being able to give more to students based on educational needs. Now, this isn't a matter of extra scholarship money. This is a matter of I want to use the term, it's not gifts, it's tools, is what I'm understanding from this decision, that universities no longer are forced to cap the things that they can give to student athletes for educational purposes. That's what I'm reading off of this decision.
That's face value of what it seems to be. And over the years, I've gone really back and forth of how I feel about the benefits that players get. When I was in college, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Everybody always says, well, you can't put a price on education. Yes, you can. It's called tuition bill that I got at the beginning and end of every semester. They put a price on education. But then again, at the same time, me as a journalism student, I wasn't bringing any money. I wasn't bringing in revenue. I wasn't doing anything to heighten the profile of my university like these student athletes are. So they obviously deserve more. And that's more of where I stand today, is that anything with how much money they bring into the university, it would be unfair to treat them like anyone else. They're not everyone else. They bring in so much money that everybody else benefits from.
And public relations, which also leads to, in some cases, greater admission, more people applying to that school. But the whole point here is that this is separate from name, image, and likeness. Which the NCAA is very nervous right now that there's nothing passed federally, and hopefully there will be sometime soon. But again, you're asking a slow-moving body to move quickly. Good luck. Good luck. It's been on a state-by-state basis right now. Sooner or later, it's going to have to go federally. That's separate from this. This is not payment to be a student athlete. These are the things that we feel you will need in order to succeed here as on the student end of the student athlete. Like they already get the greatest lockers in the world, right? We see all of these videos coming out of SEC football programs where it's like a spaceship inside the football stadium. They're already getting that. Unlimited meals, that's coming too. It already has been for a long time. And now you're talking more on the educational aspect of it, and so it's more resources going to student athletes for student purposes. The student athlete now has greater ability to move, to transfer. We'll call it what it is. It's been free agency in some cases. So it's all just a shifting of the understanding of what being a student athlete means. And now you'll be able to make money based on your ability to be well known because you're a student athlete. Now there'll be more resources coming their way to succeed on the student end of it. Again, that's what I'm reading. This decision came out like 15 minutes before the show, but that's my initial reading of it. And they can choose more decisions as to where it is they're going to go play. So being a student athlete, man, has completely changed in the last 12 months. How about really 4 months, even more than that?
And if we would have eventually gotten here, maybe not this quickly. I think COVID-19 helped, really push the train along to get us to where we are. But just reading the report from the Supreme Court and what this all deals with, it basically, it's no more than just being able to provide a laptop to some athletes who desperately need it. I'd love for anybody to try to go through college these days without having their own personal laptop. Yeah, the computers at the library work great, but the library's not open at 3 a.m. and you got finals. What are you going to do? You have to have a laptop, and half of the classes, and 90% of my classes submitted stuff online. Yeah, half of them were online itself. It's just...
Drew, the library's open.
It needs to be done.
The library's open at 3 o'clock. It's just a matter of whether or not you want it to be open at 3 o'clock.
Well, not always. It is on finals week. They are on finals week, but not every other day.
Oh, Robert in Van Buren remembers that title game. What was the name of the linebacker that knocked down that last pass from the Steelers? Dennis something or other. He was at Iowa State. I'll never forget it. 1994 AFC Championship game. Robert, it'll never be that good again. All right, we're talking football with Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South after the break.
Who doesn't want instant gratification? If you're looking for satisfaction, there's no need to wait. With Credit Karma Money, you could win cash reimbursements for debit card purchases. Credit Karma Money is a brand new checking account where you can win daily instant Karma purchase reimbursements on items up to $5,000. Just go to creditkarma.com/winmoney to sign up for free and start winning instant Karma. That's creditkarma.com/winmoney. Instant Karma is sponsored by Credit Karma. Banking services provided by MBB Bank Incorporated. Member FDIC. Maximum balance and transfer limits apply.
For your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. Whoa! And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the tech solutions you need to help you get out in front and stay ahead of the game. Whew. For advice on solutions like XPS 13 laptops powered by Intel Evo platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Business is back, and your locally owned TGI Fridays is now hiring for multiple positions. For over 26 years, TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has been locally owned and a fun place to work, and we want you to come be a part of our family. Apply in person or message us online on our TGI Fridays Fort Smith Facebook page. If you've been out of work and are needing a job, or you're just looking for a career change, we have multiple positions available in the front and back of the house, and we want to welcome you to our family at your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Ramos Roofing is a local roofing company and have over 25 years of experience in the Oklahoma area. Are you looking for a residential or commercial roofing need? Ramos Roofing is the business you can trust, offering discounts for senior citizens, law enforcement, and healthcare workers. Ramos Roofing can help you with your insurance claim. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home. Call 479-420-9903. That's 479-420-9903 for Ramos Roofing.
Attention, attention, do you have a fifth wheel, travel trailer, or motorhome that you don't get to use as often as you want? Well, Breeden RV has a solution. Breeden RV wants to buy your RV. Due to the historic events that have happened over the past year, RVs are in high demand, and Breeden RV will pay you top dollar for yours. So push it, pull it, or drag it to Breeden RV in Van Buren today for your free appraisal and get cash in hand within an hour. Call Breeden RV at 479-262-2418 or visit them on the web at breedenrvs.com.
Family first. My dad used to tell us that all the time. But family first wasn't just something he'd say to us. It was how he lived every day of his life. And it's how I try to live mine too.
At Shelter Insurance, our agents are dedicated to helping provide personalized auto, home, and life protection that puts your family first.
Ask Shelter agents Tiffany Newman or Warren Robertson about a free insurance review.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Casey reaches out and lines a base hit towards left center field. It heads to the gap. Fabian cuts it off. Casey sprinting for second. The ball got through. He's on his way to third. And the throw, no throw. Casey Opitz leads off the ninth inning with a triple. The winning run is 90 feet away.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South giving us some of his time. Always appreciate him on this rainy, ridiculously wet, and almost scary Monday morning across Arkansas. Connor, what's going on today, man? How are you?
Hope you guys are doing all right. I didn't realize the weather was so significant right now. Is this like just the time of year in which you guys usually get pretty hard?
Yeah, I mean, this is tornado country, man. This is Tornado Alley. We are right here in the middle of it, to be quite honest, and it kind of feels like today might be one of those days. But I also am introducing a new co-host. It's Drew Barrett, who's with me here, and so since he's with me, this is the first show he's doing, I wanted to be face-to-face. So I put my life at risk and made it here
we
safely.
Appreciate it.
That's right. SmackDown's moved on to bigger and better things. So say hi to Drew, Connor.
Hey, Drew, how we doing? Are we well versed in the subject of Qdoba? Because that was one thing that was SmackDown. We had to kind of break down. We had to explain what exactly Qdoba was, and the pronunciation of it was just all over the place. And love the guy, but are we well versed in what exactly Qdoba is?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Connor. I've never heard of it.
It's like a Chipotle
in my entire life.
Yeah, it's like Chipotle. You know what that is, right?
I know what a Chipotle is.
Yeah,
right?
It's the same thing. Not at Pepper. I mean the restaurant.
Okay, so it's so it's like a burrito restaurant.
Did I
it's
do
like
that
a
properly,
right?
Connor? Did I teach him well?
I think that's the best elevator pitch you can possibly give for Qdoba. But as long as we're cognizant of that, I think we're going to be good to go.
Okay. There's this decision by the Supreme Court, which I'm just started to digest here, and I just, to me, what it seems like is it's just another cut, at the at the model that college sports has operated under since the beginning of time, and more, I don't know if there's freedom for the players, but more resources to players, and it just. The other thing I see here off this decision is the word operating outside antitrust laws. And right now, I don't know, the NCAA is not going to be dissolved or anything like that. But man, it's just more signs that college sports are changing in ways that I'm not sure anyone's quite ready for.
Well, think about this. If you are one of those people who's trying to figure out what exactly to make of this ruling, and think about all the conversations that we've had over the years about just the NCAA's business model, making money off the players, telling everybody that despite these rising TV contracts, they can't really do a whole lot to change the laws because they're amateur athletes and there are issues with that. The Supreme Court unanimously said, NCAA, your business model and what you've been saying, that just doesn't fly. That's just ridiculous, because the compensation for these student athletes in terms of the educational benefits, that's the focus with this ruling, is not fair, and it's not on par with what these student athletes should be getting when you look at comparison to the media rights contracts and all these things that the NCAA has undoubtedly been able to benefit from. So that's the biggest possible takeaway. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden we're going to see college athletes getting paid tomorrow. That's just not the way that this is going to work. But is the Supreme Court unanimously looking at the NCAA saying you violated antitrust laws in this state, and in no other work setting is this type of model fair, and you are not above the law, was the line from Brett Kavanaugh that he used to describe this. So I think this is more of a long-term thing, poking holes in the NCAA's business model, which has been flawed for the last decade since we've seen these TV rights contracts increase at such a high rate. So that to me was the big takeaway, and it's almost a different deal from, and I realize it coincides, but kind of a different deal from some of the name, image, and likeness stuff.
It is, but this decision comes out, just during the same time period that the debate about what the new college football playoff will look like, and the money figures that get thrown around with that, they're exponentially greater than they were under the current structure. Now, I know the NCAA doesn't have anything to do with that money, but they can tell you the universities, in a sense, I guess, what they can and can't do with it related to the athletes. But this this whole, blows that out of the water too. My whole thing is, when you see the dollar figures, and I'm not exactly remembering what it was, 25, 26 million per school in the SEC, perhaps under the new structure. It's like, where does this money go? It's not going into the pockets of owners. So now you're going to get more of this going to players in many, many ways.
And that remains to be seen in terms of the revenue breakdown, because as we know, the NCAA runs the NCAA tournament for college basketball. That's their baby, their pride and joy. College football playoff is a totally separate entity, and as we've seen the way the Power 5 conferences handled all of those COVID-related issues, NCAA didn't have a lot of power, and you realize the NCAA doesn't have a whole lot of power in college football to begin with, but they have also been kind of the unofficial, well, I guess the official enforcer of some of these rules with pay to play and all those different things. And so now I think we're seeing, along with this name, image, and likeness stuff, we got to that point where it was too much. And that's why I've changed my opinion on this. 10 years ago, if you had asked me, maybe even 8 years ago, before all these different leagues had conference networks and you would see the money generated from those contracts. But if you had asked me 8 years ago, I would have said, no, college athletes are already paid. They have a scholarship. They have a stipend. They have the means to be able to afford books. They're not going to have student loan debt in the same way that I did. But now when you see the money that's being thrown out there and you realize, wait a minute, you can't sit here and preach the same exact model when these numbers have increased exponentially over the last decade in a way that we had never seen before in the history of big revenue college sports. So that's kind of the difference for me. And I'm sure it's the difference for a lot of people and why their opinions have hopefully changed when you actually look at the numbers and why this isn't necessarily amateur athletics of the 20th century.
Yeah, Connor, I'm just like you. When I was in college, I was seeing all these athletes roll around with and had their stipend monies at the bar while I was delivering pizzas for 6 hours a day just to be able to afford a cold Budweiser. But they were using their stipend money. But now being out of it, seeing how everything goes on, it's understandable. They need that money. They deserve that money for how much money they bring in. And obviously the Supreme Court decision, it seems to be a good direction for NIL. The one thing that I still can't wrap my mind 100% around, and something that I think a lot of people will try to use against name, image, and likeness, is Title IX. How are universities going to work around Title IX of being equal among both men and women's sports?
It's a fascinating question without an answer right now, because if you do ultimately decide that you're going to reward this compensation for educational benefits, which is no longer limited. That's what the Supreme Court ruled, and it was limited. It was originally capped at, I believe, $5,000. And if you're going to say that it is related to the revenue that your specific team brings in, then that's the issue right now, and why the NCAA has tried to push back on this as much as possible, because we know, the men's swimming program is bringing in the same as college football program in an SEC school. It's just that is reality. And there are certain programs that could really face the consequences of something like this. Now, where you would say if the NCAA has actually done well by this is look at all these different sports that have been able to exist as a result of these sports who do generate a profit. I remember Ross Dellinger did the breakdown for LSU last year when we were talking about how the lack of attendance was going to impact the football program. And you did the breakdown and you're like, oh, wow, only 2 sports, maybe 3, I guess 3, including LSU baseball, which, obviously has a big following as well. Only 3 sports were generating a profit and the rest were at a loss. And those sports, and mostly football, were taking care of the other sports. And that's the business model that the NCAA has been able to hang its hat on. But if now all of a sudden this money is being doled out as a result of what those specific programs are bringing in, that does change the model. And I think that's what everybody is kind of on pins and needles. And there is no answer to that question right now. And I would hope that there'd be a way to figure all this out. But to say right now that they're being treated equal on campus is also probably a bit of a myth, because we know what sports run things and what sports are kind of along for the ride.
Yeah, we really do. Just try to say that the softball team gets the same amount of benefits as a football team. Both of them aren't riding buses for 10 hours a day. We 100% know that already. So there's really no need to hide it. And I definitely want to get to this because you wrote a great story about it on Saturday Down South. the Arizona State situation, having people on campus during almost the height of the pandemic, COVID-19, and what if the reaction would have been like if this was an SEC school who done it. And when you see SEC schools get in trouble for violations, I mean, it always seems so cartoonish. Tennessee with the McDonald's bags. Ole Miss was just over a hunting trip. And everybody said, how dare that big SEC do these things? But we don't care when Herm Edwards and Arizona State do it.
I believe, Connor, you can use the term brazen with Arizona State, right? Yeah.
It was. And I'm glad that this didn't happen within the SEC, at least to our knowledge, because I didn't want the sweeping generalizations of the South not caring about the pandemic to be out in full force, which they would have been. If this type of thing happens in Arkansas, guys, you know the national headlines that are being written about the southeastern region of the country. And that would have been nauseating to listen to people come up with that and try to justify it in that sort of way. But I also think this doesn't happen in the SEC because Herm Edwards was this like hands-off CEO type of coach. And that doesn't happen in the SEC. I mean, picture Saban or Kirby or even Sam Pittman and his passion for recruiting. Picture those guys being hands-off. That's not a thing. You don't come to the SEC to become hands-off and turn the power over to somebody like Antonio Pierce, who then just kind of goes rogue and creates a mutiny within his own staff. You see so many control freaks in the SEC that for something like that to happen just seems really impossible. And I think that while obviously the SEC has had its fair share of cheating scandals, not saying that, but the way that this whole thing went down is actually really un-SEC-like, and it's a product of trying to go with a model that was way different, and it was questioned at the time to hire someone like Herm Edwards that didn't have that recruiting background. And I think that's kind of why I looked at this through the SEC lens and said, you know what, this type of thing actually wouldn't happen in this sort of way, and just because we were able to avoid the sweeping generalizations, I'm glad that it didn't happen.
One of the things that I really loved about this whole deal was, he brought Kevin Mawai on staff or as an analyst of some sort, as if to, here, this is what college football is about. You're going to like it here. You start your college football coaching career here. And Mawai, was like, oh, I love playing for Herm, so I'll go give it a shot. And after a couple, he's like, nah, this ain't for me. This ain't for me. I don't like the way that they're doing this. He told him about that, and pretty much that was it. It's Mawai was turned off of the college football game by this experience.
I don't blame him. Seeing the way that some of these coaches were treated, and I don't know if you guys have read all the stuff Pete Thamel did on Yahoo, and there's been a lot of reporting about some of this, and it seemed like everybody knew that this was going to happen this past week, which is not a good sign either, that you had so many leaks within the program, but that's not a good sign, and that's probably a product of a coach who was in over his head. And if this comes down that he did indeed violate all of these rules that were put in place for the dead period during the pandemic, then this is going to look like a coach who was in over his head. And as much as we've praised Herm Edwards in the past and kind of his mindset and all these different things, that's why this type of thing at the Power 5 level doesn't happen. And it's a shame for those kids who are having to deal with this, but gotta play by the rules and can't be so brazen about just pretending that they don't exist.
All right, we'll let you go there, Connor. Hey, next segment. I don't follow the NBA. I'm picking an NBA team. So, you have any advice on which one to go with?
Go with the Bucks. You know what? They deserve happiness. They don't get a lot of happiness up there in Wisconsin. I pity those Wisconsin fans. I cross paths with a decent amount of them. Go with the Bucks. Giannis winning it all is fun.
Sound like someone from Chicago who's an Indiana fan right there. Connor, appreciate you, man, as always.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Connor.
Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. That's right. He is a Cubs fan, so he laughs at the Brewers. He would be a Bears fan, so the Packers laugh at him.
Of course.
And an Indiana fan, and ain't nobody right now laughing in Indiana, although it looks like Woodson's getting some good players. All right, we're going to wrap the first hour up after the break. Stay with us on Halftime.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, Wow World of Wireless, at 479-478-6616. That's 479-478-6616 for more details. Or stop by our location at 601 Church Street in Barling, next to Frank Rowe Furniture, or visit us online at www.shopwownow.com. That's shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Live music is back on the patio at Joe's Grill and Cantina every Tuesday and Saturday night. Grab your favorite drink and sit on the patio and enjoy your favorite tunes. And don't forget brunch every Saturday starting at 10:45 at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Different brunch specials and your favorite brunch cocktails. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Live music, Taco Tuesday, daily specials, and brunch on Saturdays. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Come taste the difference at Reed's Hometown Barbecue in Booneville. Brisket, pork, chicken, and pork spare ribs. Hand-selected, liberally seasoned with a homemade rub and slow smoked over hickory, oak, and pecan, giving our meat a unique and original smoked flavor. Here's what people are saying. Best barbecue in the state. Awesome atmosphere. Hands down, the best barbecue around. Great service. People are traveling from Fayetteville and Hot Springs. It's that good. Reed's Hometown Barbecue in Booneville is open Thursday through Saturday, 11 till 9.
This is ESPN 95.3.
One more now, Lucille.
JD into the front court. Davis left side. Desi for three, and it's good. Sills has matched his career high with his fifth three-pointer of the ball game. Arkansas has stretched their lead out to 23.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
I have a quick request here, guys. It's still a bit of an open sore. I am force-feeding myself the College World Series. Like tonight, I'm going to when I get home, I'm going to watch the elimination game, and then I'll watch NC State Vanderbilt tonight. But it's like I got to duct tape myself into the couch, force myself to watch it.
And do not check Netflix, Hulu, none of the streaming services for something better.
No, I'll watch something when the game, when the night game is
remote
done.
over there.
That's exactly right. But the baseball highlights that we're playing right now for the comebacks, they hurt a little bit to hear.
Do they give you the baseball blues?
Yes, they do give me the baseball blues.
Good job, Matty.
And it's not a line that I want to sing a second time. Can we put an ixnay on the baseball highlights for the next 2 weeks? And then maybe just go on the football, basketball route to feel better.
Women's basketball make you feel any better?
Yes, because that thing was done 3 months ago, so I've had plenty of time to get over that too. And it might take a bit more time to.
Not only is this still an open wound, it's kind of starting to smell a little bit too, like maybe it's infected.
Well, those are actually Ty's headphones.
Oh, okay.
That still have not been cleaned from the pie incident from last week. He asked. This is the first time anybody's ever said to me, "Smell these headphones." It's like these are not words that have ever been put in a sentence before. I'd rather not. They said, "No, really, give them a." So I put my face like above them and did a tiny little. You know how dogs do this with they're very careful what they're smelling, so they do a quick breathe in and then a breathe out.
Yeah,
that's what I did, so I didn't poison myself with whatever is being grown on these headphones.
Well, now Ty and SmackDown should have realized that it probably would have been best to take off the headphones. But in Ty's defense, I will defend my fellow 26-year-old millennial here. I wouldn't have known what to clean them with. If I didn't call my parents, more importantly, if I didn't call my mother and ask what do I clean that type of fabric with, I would have had no idea.
Do you do your own laundry?
Of course, I do my own. I do my own laundry. I cook. I know how to mop, clean. I make my own bed. I can do everything.
But when it comes to cleaning headphones, you need a little bit of. You just need to be pointed in the right direction.
I just need mom to tell me: do I use Windex 409? What's kind of chemical to rub? Straight up rubbing alcohol. I need a little guidance.
I'm going the rubbing alcohol route. That stuff cleans anything. Some very important things. That's on the list. All right, you're going to try to sell me an NBA team here? You really going to try to sell me this thing?
Well, in a perfect world, I would sell you on the Grizzlies.
Yeah, but it isn't a perfect world for Memphis fans. I used to be an NBA fan. Now, 80s, 90s, I sort of stopped. I have nothing against the NBA. It's just I only have enough room in my head to pay attention for a certain amount of time. Now's the time. There are 4 teams left. So I grew up a Celtics fan just because of Bird and my aunt had season tickets, so I grew up rooting for the Celtics then. I don't have anything for the Celtics now. Pittsburgh did not have an NBA team. I really did like Allen Iverson. As painful as it would be for a Pittsburgher to root for a Philly team.
Is that a no-no? That's a big no-no.
You're not supposed to.
No state pride?
AI. No, that's a whole other state over there.
You're right.
That's basically Western New York.
Okay.
Don't tell anyone from Philly I said that. But it's been so long since I ever felt I had a dog in the race, and I don't know. It's like you're an NBA fan.
Yeah.
I want to find a little interest in something that you might have interest in. I'm not just a stodgy 44-year-old who's stuck in my ways. I'm ready to change if I can. So,
well, I'm here to help you.
Sell me.
I'm here to help you learn. Now, obviously, I think we can both agree. I like college athletics better. I am more of a college-first type of guy. But growing up, having the Grizzlies in Memphis, getting that NBA type of feel, and being from a place that likes to call itself Hoop City that's technically never won a championship.
Whoever called Memphis Hoop City?
It's people in Memphis do.
That you're not allowed to call yourself that.
It's giving yourself
that's
your
the
own
Cardinals fans calling themselves the best fans in baseball.
Drives me insane.
Once you start calling yourself that, it's no longer true. So
it drives me absolutely insane. But the NBA, it's a very fun game. Best players in the world. So I don't think it'd be that hard to sell once you get to start watching it. And plus, all 4 teams that are left are pretty likable. There's no Darth Vader. There's no the evil empire left in the NBA playoffs.
Well, there's no clear favorite, really, is there?
Not really. I mean, the Clippers would probably be number 1 if Kawhi was healthy and able to go. Obviously, missed game 1. Still up in the air of whether he's going to return. From reports from guys like Woj and Shams, it's probably unlikely. So there really isn't 100% favorite. But we'll start with the Clippers. And here are a few reasons why Clippers might be your team. Clippers are obviously the underdog in their own city. Obviously, team number 2 in Los Angeles. Kawhi, decently likable player.
Yeah.
Paul George.
I don't know if Pop feels that, but a lot of others do.
Decently likable player. Doesn't have an opinion about everything. You never really know what he's thinking about off the court kind of stuff.
Already led a team to a title.
Exactly. Easy to root for.
The Clips have Patrick Beverly too, right? I mean, that's going to get you some length in Arkansas.
Yes, it
as
will.
a former Razorback. So
Right.
I don't root for fans, by the way. So
Okay.
the whole thing with the Clippers not ever winning a title, ever getting this far, and I've got friends that are Clippers fans who worked for the Clippers. I'm not rooting for the Clippers based on that.
Okay.
So it's the same with the Bucks. I don't root for fans. I root against fans, not for fans.
Okay, so the fact of one of the most famous NBA fans of all time, Clipper Darrell, doesn't help you bring it in.
No, the fact that Billy Crystal is also a Clippers fan
That's
is not
true.
going to bring
Okay.
me in either.
Okay, well, I'll scratch out Clipper Darrell. I mean, just the fact that this is the first time they've advanced this far in the playoffs, and they've been around for a very, very long time, it's pretty incredible. So that's a good reason. I mean, we'll get to more of these, obviously later on, because as I can hear the
Well,
music.
you've tried to sell me on the Clippers. They're going to try to sell me on the Bucks, the Hawks, the Suns.
I think I can sell you on the Hawks.
Maybe you're just going to have
I really
to sell
think
me
I
on
can.
the NBA Finals because it's been a long time since I watched. Second hour after the break, 877-377-6963. Don't go anywhere.
Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith is your source this summer for backyard fun. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. There's no better way to enjoy family and friends than with your own above-ground pool this summer from Burton Pools and Spas. And they're on sale this month, starting at just $19.99. Come on by Burton's, pick them up, take them home, and save a bundle on above-ground pools. Don't miss this opportunity to make the backyard of your dreams a reality. They've got a limited supply available right now. Ask about the full line of Doughboy above-ground pools, the best pool on the market, built to last for years of enjoyment by you and your family. Check out Doughboy above-ground pools right now and save big at Burton Pools and Spas. They're on Zero Street in Fort Smith and just off I-49 at the 412 exit in Springdale. And you can always see Burton's full lineup online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, they're your source for backyard fun.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
For more than 80 years, Forsgren Inc. has been building the foundations of the River Valley and beyond. Forsgren, a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence, is now hiring experienced concrete finishers and heavy equipment operators. Apply now from any mobile device at forsgreninc.com. Forsgren is a heritage company and a premier employer. Don't miss this opportunity to become part of the Forsgren legacy. Apply now from any device anywhere at forsgreninc.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Here's Gunnar and Jeb.
You excited about going to your daughter's college graduation?
Sure am.
What kind of things did she learn down there?
Well, she learned, let's see, she learned,
And you spent $40,000 a year on that school?
Oh, that's something she learned. The value of Mama and Daddy's money.
You got that right.
Get the most for your money when buying your next Fort Smith home. Visit nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Cloudy skies, occasional showers and thunderstorms today. Our temperatures will fall into the mid-60s across the north and into the mid-70s across the south. Showers and a chance of thunderstorms tonight, an overnight low in the low to mid-50s. We will see sunshine returning Tuesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Put down the bug spray and pick up the phone before you head outside this summer. Call Mosquito Joe to keep your yard mosquito-free. Call 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Go crazy at Bob Walker! Go nuts!
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Your Razorbacks are 2021 SEC champions, and Bob Walker Stadium is an insane asylum.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Into the second hour of Halftime on ESPN Arkansas. So good to be with you, Phil, Drew, Matty. No nicknames. I know you guys were talking a little bit about nicknames this morning, and you don't have any. We don't have to force any on you.
I don't want it to be forced. You know, if it develops naturally, then yeah, I'm all for it. But I've never had one because my name is Drew. It doesn't get any simpler, shorter than 4 letters. Drew. I mean, it does its job. There's no need to throw any flair on there. No need for the. I do get the Drewskis, the Drooby Dooby Doos type of thing, but that feels like you're forcing it.
It's like we have to wait till something comes up. We like find something out about Drew, like he likes rom-coms, and then he becomes rom-com Drew.
Or just RC.
RC Drew.
It's like,
that
how
wouldn't
did you
make
get
sense,
it?
though.
Did you name him after the cola?
Exactly.
No, he likes rom-coms.
He actually likes rom-coms, right. It's like the whole idea of how this Chad Dallas guy, the pitcher for Tennessee, got the nickname Cheese. You figure, well, he's a pitcher, so he throws really hard, so he's throwing cheese.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do with that at all. Has to do with a Pauly Shore movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
which
easy.
one?
I don't even remember
know if I've
which
seen
one.
a Pauly Shore movie.
Yeah, they actually, because
Well,
I'm
it could have
forced.
been Encino Man, Father-in-Law, Jury Duty, Biodome.
What was the one when he's on the farm?
That's Son-in-Law.
Son-in-law.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember which one it was. But you think so? A pitcher whose nickname is Cheese should have to do with
throwing the ball,
throwing a ball hard, but it doesn't. It has more to do with Pauly Shore movie.
Do they also call him the Wheeze?
I don't think
Buddy.
so. But I did see a video of him. They're asking him, talking about his nickname, and he's eating Easy Cheese, which is
cheese in a can.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, I love that stuff. It's so good. Anyway, 877-377-6963. Drew's trying to sell me on an NBA team. I've already picked up NC State as my new college baseball favorite outside of Arkansas, at least for the rest of these next 2 weeks. As long as they keep winning, they're going to be my favorite team in college baseball.
As they should.
I don't want,
because you didn't have any bad blood against NC State going into it.
I didn't. They handled themselves really well. Look, if you win 2 games, Walker, you've done something that's
earned it.
Incredibly difficult to do. I appreciated the way that not only how they played, but the attitudes after they won. They didn't throw anything in anybody's face like that. It just. I appreciated the way that they played and the way that they won. And the other thing, too, is I don't do the SEC thing. I don't need to feel like the SEC is the best league in college baseball, and so that means that they have to have the national champion. It doesn't work that way for me. I don't want Tennessee winning their first title in front of Arkansas. I don't want Mississippi State winning their first title in front of Arkansas. I would rather Texas win than either of those two, to be quite honest, because they've already won. Don't hate me that I said I'd rather have Texas win. I understand it's a choice between evil and evil times 2, but I'm just making a choice. NC State's the only one left for me right now, man, and I'm rooting for the team that vanquished mine. I really am, and I want to watch these games. But if I have to watch like a Vanderbilt versus Tennessee series to win the national title, I'll watch it because it'll be a really good series.
And hope Vandy pulls it out.
But I might have to do it while holding my nose and closing my eyes and just listening at the same time because I don't know if I can handle all of it.
And I think that's one thing that I was telling you guys off air that I think I'm going to get along with our listening base because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And we all hate the same school, so we're all going to get along.
That's one of the great things about being from Memphis. If you were really like a Memphis sports person, you hate all the SEC teams around you because you're a Tigers fan.
Yes.
So do you reserve any extra hatred for the Tennessee schools in the SEC or the Mississippi school? Because Ole Miss views itself as Memphis South. You know that.
Yes.
So how's your view on those teams?
Ultimately, because the Mississippi schools are closer, those are the ones that you hate. And not to give Tennessee any credit, in the sport that it matters most, Memphis has only beat Tennessee one time in 1996. Now, obviously, they haven't played us since, I believe, 2012, and don't look like they're going to put the University of Memphis on their schedule anytime soon. But we're playing Mississippi State this year. We just finished splitting a four games with Ole Miss. Feel like we're more on the same level as them, so you hate them more because we beat them and they still like to push their nose up at us like we're beneath you. And we can't be beneath you if we just split. I mean, we literally just beat you 2 out of 4.
Isn't that pretty much the way all of Tennessee views Memphis?
It is.
I mean, in a whole. It's a whole other topic to get into. I understand.
Just a short answer. Memphis is its own state. I'm from Memphis.
They're going back to Memphis State University too, aren't they?
Yes,
I thought I read that.
A lot of, well, not officially, but we do love the throwback Memphis State stuff. So ultimately, when you're from Memphis, you're in your own little state, to where anybody outside of it, it doesn't matter. Screw them.
All right. So Austin tells me the Suns are the only right answer. Suns and 4. What a great video. Mark in Prairie Grove wants no nicknames, and he even signs it Mark in PG. You just gave your town a nickname. Ryan in Prairie Grove says, you better hate Mississippi State. I wonder what Rob in New Blaine says, because he's called us up here on halftime. 877-377-6963. Hey, Rob, you're on halftime. What's up?
Wanted to give a huge thank you to you guys. I won tickets for the air show in Bryant last week.
Yeah, I saw your photo on Twitter on Saturday. Looked like there were a lot of people there. A lot of fun?
Man, I think that thing was a huge success for Bryant, maybe even the state of Arkansas. But I was able to take my dad, and, man, it was a lifetime experience that I'm sure he and I will never forget. And I owed a huge thank you to hit that line, R.J. Hawk, whoever, whatever. Just wanted to say a huge thank you to you guys.
You got it, Rob. Glad you had a good time. I remember he won the tickets.
Was it the VIP or just the tickets?
I think.
Well, it was actually the VIP tickets, and then my best friend had planned to go with me because he's kind of an airplane guy. And then I was talking to him, and I told him, I said, "Hey, let's see if we can get a VIP ticket for my dad." And we were able to do that, so we all three got to go. And man, it was an awesome show, just an unbelievable experience. I thought Bryant, the Chamber of Commerce, and everybody that was involved in that just did a fantastic job of hosting it, and there was a ton of people there.
Good. Well, I mean, we had RJ on last week to talk about it. He and I have been friends for a long time. I know he and Jason put a couple years work into it.
I saw he got to fly up there in one of those things.
RJ did?
Yeah, and some of the formations they were doing, he was in one of those planes.
Good. That's outstanding. The future mayor of Bryant right there. Absolutely. Rob, thanks for the call, man, and glad you had a good time.
All right. Thank y'all.
You got it. 877-377-6963. Greg in Fort Smith says there were thousands upon thousands of people there. Yeah, great. I'm glad it worked out. And it was the only air show in the state. Good Father's Day thing to do, right?
Sounds like it.
Rob brought his dad. And gosh,
when I lived in Jacksonville, they used to have one every year. I don't know if that still goes on or not, but I used to be able to stand in my backyard and see the planes flying over.
Well, they do have those large what are they?
Yeah, the C-130s.
The C-130s out of the Air Force Base.
I guess we didn't
there.
bring this up when we talked to RJ. We got to fly in a Black Hawk one year. It's been about 4 or 5 years ago. And RJ was
I've never been in a helicopter.
It was
never been in one.
It was
either.
terrifying, but in the end, it was one of the coolest. That's the coolest thing I've ever done was flying in one of those with the doors open, just looking out over the thing.
Holding on to your stomach, right? Mm-hmm. The entire time before it unleashed itself. Oh boy. All right. So
one suggestion for a name.
We have so we've already described reasons why I think you're going to get along with our listeners here. You don't do the SEC thing. You don't do the AAC thing.
No.
So when it comes time for the College Football Playoff Committee to do their rankings, what's Memphis looking like this next year?
Well, it's going to be a lot of up in the air type of situations. Really got to figure out the cornerback situation. Grant Gunnell transfer from Arizona, is looking to be the front runner. Also have Peter Parrish in the quarterback room, transfer from LSU. So realistically, I think we're safe at the quarterback position. Really going to have to see who steps up in the running back. After having so many great tailbacks in the last few years from Darrell Henderson, Tony Pollard, Antonio Gibson in the backfield, now all in the NFL, who's going to be able to really pick up that torch? Is it going to be Asa Martin, an Auburn and Miami transfer? Is it going to be Rodriguez Clark from Starkville, Mississippi? It's just going to be really up in the air, and defense should be a lot better.
There you go. Whole scouting report on the Memphis Tigers. You know your stuff about that team. By the way, Arkansas and Memphis should be playing basketball. We've been on that for a long time.
100%.
Halftime's back. Stay with us.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody.
Or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system, 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
This is ESPN 95.3.
dribbles up top, feeds Ramirez, guarded by Andia Jones. Barnum will screen for Ramirez, uses the screen, three's on the way, and we're tied. Amber Ramirez ties the game. Timeout, Texas A&M. All she needs is just the tiniest little sliver of daylight, and she hits it.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Halftime is brought to you by Pradco Outdoor Fishing. Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill bobber with a family. That's America's favorite floats by Thill. They're available in a variety of sizes and colors. Premium balsa wood floats also made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Great at detecting the slightest bites by fish. Work great in tandem with crickets and red worms. They're available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, Lornet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill. All right, you're still trying to sell me.
Still trying to sell you.
All right, so you've already gone through the Clippers here.
Yes.
I was going to be a Clippers fan when they had Chris Paul and Blake Griffin together, but it's been a long time since then. So who do we have? There's the Suns, there's the Bucks, there's the Hawks.
We'll stay in the West.
You want to stay in the West
with
the Suns?
I think I can sell you a little bit more on the Suns.
No, last time the Suns were like any good, as far as I remember,
Steve Nash.
Well,
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so
it's
sell me.
It's been a while. That was my first point.
Greeny
Real underdog.
on the way in. Greeny's talking about Devin Booker is the best player left in the NBA playoffs. He's selling. He sold me. He did some selling.
I don't know if he's the best. I still think Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee is a little bit ahead of him, but I wouldn't say head and shoulders. I think Devin Booker is a great player, and like you just said, the Suns, they haven't been good for a long time. Been a bottom and kind of the laughing stock of the NBA of having all of these number one draft picks and still losing every single game, of falling in the category like a Sacramento Kings, who they could have 20 first-round picks, 20 top 3 picks, and they'll never crawl out.
Are the Kings the Pirates of the NBA?
No, because
Pirates, there is no franchise as bad as the Pirates.
Well,
you can make no comparisons.
Well, unfortunately, Phil, the Pirates, as you know, have had success in years past. They do have a decent amount of good history.
They have 3 wild card berths and 1 wild card win in the last 30 years.
That's in the last 30 years. Go to the 30 years before that. How many World Series?
Well, so the last Pirates World Series, 1979.
Against the Baltimore Orioles.
The O's. Nobody claims any caring about what happened in the 1970s anymore, unless you've won since then.
I care about 1983. That's the last time the Orioles won it.
And what was your age in 1983?
-11.
How much enjoyment do you get out of the 1983 World Series championship by the Orioles when they beat the Philadelphia Phillies? This is
good
the one
amount
year
of enjoyment, actually.
I mean, I've watched
Ripken
won the MVP.
Mm-hmm. Made the last out of Game 5 because it was over 4-1. I get some enjoyment just to know that we were there once. We could do it again, right? You kind of hold on to that hope.
Is
the
that
fact that
enjoyment or hoping against hope? Like I have the 1979 World Series on DVD. I'm not putting that in. I've seen enough of the highlights of it to know that that's not happening during my lifetime anymore. So anyway, I mean,
it's dragging me down.
I asked you, were the Kings the Pirates of the NBA? This is the most poorly run franchise, right? Because the laughing stock was the Knicks. The Knicks seemingly turned it around this last year. Everybody wants to laugh about the Sixers for the process, and I understand it's not necessarily working out, but they aren't a bad team.
I won't put I won't do that to your Pirates. I won't put them on Kings watch right now. I'd put the Diamondbacks maybe on the Kings, especially this year.
Yeah,
so that's what
this year they're worse.
We'll
sure.
compare it to. But the Suns, obviously, great senior leadership this year, getting Chris Paul and Jay Crowder. They have probably the coolest mascot in the NBA.
They still have the Duncan Gorilla.
They still have the gorilla.
See, this was something that I remembered from my time of being an NBA fan. The Duncan Gorilla off the trampoline, and you were like, you know what? I think Dan Marley leaps higher than this guy does.
The Duncan Gorilla is the coolest thing, and if you ever have some time, go back and do a little research about the first guy who was the gorilla and the mental toll that it took on him, that he almost felt more himself in the gorilla suit than he did outside of the suit. He not only was a mascot, he became the mascot. It's
Jeez.
actually pretty interesting to read about.
I think this should be a movie directed by Scorsese, to be honest.
Oh, it'd be a great one.
Yeah. All right, so you sell me on the Bucks. Outside of the fact that I would root for
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee because of really do like Bobby Portis. Always been a Bobby Portis fan. Coming out of Little Rock at the Razorbacks. He's not playing though now.
They've shortened their rotation. They've gone down to 8, and like I told you, that there's a lot of good players on that Milwaukee bench that just aren't playing. I mean, you got Portis. Who is the other? Jeff Teague is a guy that a lot of people will recognize, and a few other guys that are on that bench that they just aren't playing, because when you get to this point in the season, you got to cut the rotation. You got to have what you think the best 5 at that time out there at all times. There's no need to with the Bobby Portis. He could go off on a few games, but I just don't think they have enough faith and trust in him to be that guy every single
So how
night.
about the idea that with all that said, the only reason Milwaukee's moving on in the playoffs is because Brooklyn wasn't healthy? Or because because Kevin Durant's foot is huge.
I would give Milwaukee a little bit more credit. And honestly, the person who I think should get the most credit for the Milwaukee still being in the playoffs and not Milwaukeeing it up the way they have the last few years.
Milwaukeeing.
It's kind of become a thing in the NBA the last few years is getting Drew Holiday, who has taken over and been that really strong point guard for them that they've been missing, and allows Antetokounmpo and other guys to play off the ball a little bit better, and Holiday can score really well. The only thing I can really sell you on is the small market aspect of it. If you're a big underdog guy, a real do it the right way, get people through the draft, get 1 or 2 good free agents, and kind of very anti-Brooklyn, basically going out and trying to buy a championship, anti-super team, then Milwaukee is your team. Would be your team.
You remember when Alice Cooper told you what Milwaukee means in the Algonquin language?
That's right. Yes, I forget exactly what he said though.
The good land.
Wow,
that's exactly right.
I was not aware of that.
Fun fact.
You tell me there's a term for Milwaukee-ing that means the good land-ing. Yeah, you have to see the movie Wayne's World though. So
I've seen
Was
Wayne's World. I've seen it's the first one. He's in the first one.
Yeah.
Because the second one is where they try to put on the festival.
That Wayne stock, yeah.
Yeah, they try to put on Wayne stock in the second one.
Maybe
that's
I could
definitely
root
the first.
for the good land. I do like the city of Milwaukee. I've had fun there before.
Milwaukee.
I love Miller Park.
Mm-hmm.
It's although it's not Miller Park anymore. It's named after an insurance company. I had a tour of the Miller Brewery.
Mm-hmm.
Beer.
I like beer.
Yay beer. Yay sausages.
I mean, when you think of great beer, you always think of Milwaukee's Best, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I did. Yeah, that was like the stock beer as a
Let me rephrase.
freshman.
I like beer. I don't know if I really like any beer that comes out of Milwaukee.
The Beast. The Beast. That's right. What's the one that says the beer that made Milwaukee famous? That's Schlitz.
They don't make that anymore, though, do they?
Oh, sure they do.
They do?
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never had one.
Schlitz is still made, man. It's the beer that made Milwaukee drunk. Old Swill as well. There's so many names with Milwaukee thrown into beer. Old Swilwaukee.
And they all sound terrible.
They are mostly terrible. Although it is it's a good sports town.
Mm-hmm.
Look, they've had plenty of winners. I mean, the Packers are Milwaukee essentially.
Yeah.
It's Green Bay, but they all
Basically,
root for them.
yeah.
I mean, that's their team. It's Wisconsin's team. All right, so maybe Milwaukee. Milwaukee. But why Atlanta?
Atlanta,
I have such trouble rooting for any team out of Atlanta. I used to hate the Braves. I don't anymore. It's been a long time. But it's like, I never think of Atlanta as like one of these. It's a huge city and everything.
It is a huge city.
And it seems like it's one of these cities that so many people move to with their own allegiances that I just don't know if there's this big groundswell of support for the Hawks there. Although, from everything I'm reading, and again, I haven't watched any of these games, Trae Young could be the most exciting player in the NBA sometimes.
He can be. Now, can he make it into a long career? That's just going to have to be said, because when your game is like Trae Young, and obviously in Memphis we see it a lot with John Morant, when you leave your feet as much as they do, you start to worry about they're going to have problems like Derrick Rose. They're going to get injured a lot. It's going to cut down their career, but heck, they're very exciting while we have them now. Real quick, for Atlanta, Trae Young, obviously one of the top 10 young players. They haven't won a title in the ATL. Atlanta hip-hop is awesome. I would say almost on par with Memphis.
And
second best hip-hop city in the
Outkast,
country.
And
Outkast is from there. T.I.
Jamie Gertz.
And that was my next point.
co-owner of
Jamie
the
Gertz
team?
is a co-owner of the team.
1980s
Y'all like
movie
movies. Y'all
star
are big movies, guys.
Jamie Gertz.
So Jamie Gertz is your team. She owns your team.
I can root for Jamie Gertz.
I knew I would
can
get you
root
with that
for
one.
the Lost Boys and Solar Babies and Quicksilver. I can root for that.
Okay.
As a child of the 80s. Let's go Hawks.
I knew I'd get you. I knew Jamie Gertz would get me there.
Sold. 877-377-6963.
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, Space-Or Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of Space-Or, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Whoo! Hi, folks. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. I need a vacation. I bet you do too. But I can't take a break until I take in 57 trades. So this month, I'll pay you up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value when you trade for the Rath Road Ready vehicle of your choice. And we've got a great selection. Each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So send your old ride packing and get up to $4,000 more than it's worth when you hit the road in a nicer, newer car. Trip delayed by past credit mishaps? Don't worry. We've mapped out the road to more approvals, and you could get up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value for your trade. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for summer in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends by June 30th, 2021.
For more than 80 years, Forest Grin Inc. has been building the foundations of the River Valley and beyond. Forest Grin, a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence, is now hiring experienced dump truck drivers. CDL Class A or B license with medical card is required. Apply now from any mobile device at forestgrininc.com, a heritage company and a premier employer. Forest Grin offers top wages and benefits. Apply today at forestgrininc.com. Become part of the Forest Grin legacy. Apply now on any device at forestgrininc.com. Forest Grin Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe in a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Ask Shelter agents Ted McAvoy or Jeff Clark about a free insurance review.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday. River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Make your car buying experience better at Hertz Car Sales. The goal is to provide customers with a wide selection of low-mileage, extra-clean vehicles, providing their buyers with a better way to drive. A professional sales staff, quality customer service, along with a relaxing atmosphere is what you find every time at Hertz Car Sales. What are you waiting for? Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or call them today at 783-1722. You can also check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales, when you're ready.
This is ESPN 95.3.
1 point Razorback lead, 18 to shoot. Slocum makes a move down the right side, backs up from the block, feeds Daniels left wing, back for Slocum, three's on the way, buckets for Destiny Slocum. Timeout Arkansas.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, so we've got another question that's actually a pretty important question for you, Drew, and that goes from B.E., who is our most I can't say it. He's not our most important listener. He's
a great contributor.
He's the most interactive of the listeners on our text machine, and he did call on SmackDown's last day because
so
now we
he's
realize
a real person.
Yes, he's not just a disembodied printed computer.
Actually, he's one of the only listeners
something.
I've ever actually met around here.
He wants to know if you have any pets because he's a pet person.
Mm-hmm.
I have a cat. I would have a dog. I love all animals. I can't have a dog because of how much travel I do. I grew up with cats, love cats. So I've got a cat. You'll see her on the screen every once in a while when we're doing the show. What about you? The answer is no.
No, I don't have any pets. Grew up. I grew up with pets. I had a dog growing up, and I like animals. Don't get me wrong. I like animals. I just don't love animals. Like when I walk into a room and there's a dog, a lot of people lose their mind, right? They get down on the ground. They're like, it's the fluffiest, cutest thing I've ever seen. I can walk in a room and go, what's up, dog? And keep going with my about my day. That dog comes over, I will pet said dog.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to.
You're not seeking it out.
I'm not going to completely melt down.
All right, so you're not a pet person. You need a pet rock. I was going to use
that. I mean, my girlfriend has
a
dog, and I don't mind her dog. So, I mean.
Don't mind.
You know what it is?
Well, he minds you, let me tell you.
You know what it is with dogs, though? I think, probably a lot of those people, they have previous experiences. Like, it reminds them of the dog they used to have, and then they kind of, relive those emotions, I think. Because it tends to be like those
But I
type of
like
people,
animals. I don't want anybody to think I'm an animal hater. Just if I'm ever around you and you have a dog and I don't fall to pieces over it, don't take that as the fact that I hate your dog. Because a lot of people think I hate animals because I can walk into a room and say, what's up, dog, or hey, cat, and be perfectly normal.
Well, honestly, I do feel insulted sometimes when I'm walking my dog and, the person acts like, they want to be away from it, and they're not acting like that's the cutest dog they've ever seen. I take it as an insult.
See, Matty,
I'm like, why don't they see?
I'm being upfront with you. Don't ever take it as an insult if I'm around you and your dog, and I don't fall to pieces.
You and your pet are connected like Elliot and E.T.
That's true.
You got to like them both. You can't just take one or the other. All right, let's kick it off here with 3 up, 3 down.
Touchscreen's not working. There you go.
It's like a calling card or a shout out or something.
That sucked.
The best of the best of the best of the best of the best.
What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning.
Well, that's not the worst part.
What is the worst part?
It's time for 3 up, 3 down.
All right, my first up is I feel like I accomplished something this last weekend. This is the only positive thing out of the Razorbacks not advancing to the College World Series. My apartment, my house, has been in a constant state of the kids are on their way at some point, but they're not really for the last 3.5 months since the start of the college baseball season.
How did you hide all that stuff?
Well, it's
a lot of closet space?
No, not at all. It basically just shoved into one big bedroom that I wasn't using.
Yeah.
That the cat will sleep in every once in a while, but became a storage room. So I finally took care of all this stuff over the weekend.
It got done?
I cleaned it all up. I vacuumed. I put things in their place. I built beds. I threw things away. Of course, that's the best feeling in the world is when you throw things away. I threw away a mattress that my sister slept on starting at the age of 5.
Ew.
And I had with
You brought
me,
it all the way from Pittsburgh?
Yeah. No, I actually used to use this for my kids back in the day, and so I thought I might need it. Now I got a different mattress, and this thing's just been sitting around the house. Finally got a chance to throw that thing away. It was the best thing I felt all day. Did strain my right arm doing it because it's a big mattress, but it just felt so good. It was like spring cleaning, and I had no desire to go outside because it felt like 105 degrees. So a big up for me for
when
that.
do they actually get to town?
They should be here Thursday or Friday. Yeah, they're coming all the way down from Edmonton, Alberta. They're going through Kalispell, Montana. They're going through South Dakota, go through the Badlands. They're coming through Omaha. I would have met them there if we were there. Through Kansas City, St. Joe's, into Fayetteville. I'll meet them in Fayetteville, get my daughter Sadie, my son Gabriel for a week. Sadie goes to camp after a week, and it's me and Gaby for the whole summer.
Nice.
I'm getting that kid big, man. I told him, I said, Gabe, meat every day. Hope you're okay with that. And that should,
there's no barbecue places.
That should be exactly. That should be a big up. Second, and my first down. You notice this when you watch the Vanderbilt games. It's not just the one whistler at the College World Series games. Everybody is
They're multiplying.
It's both of them.
Oh,
there's two of them. Our friend Bill King, that joins us from Nashville Sports Radio every Wednesday, knows the story of these two guys. There's two of them that always make sure one of them is at a game.
Normally trade off.
You can hear both of them at these games. So I'm watching tonight's Vanderbilt NC State game either with the sound down or my ears plugged. One or the other.
I would go with completely muted. And the thing with the Vandy Whistler, do Vanderbilt fans themselves like it?
Some of them even see the way they clap is timed with the whistles. So some of them are totally into it. Absolutely.
It's gotta, even if it was my team, it would irritate the crap out of me. I don't think I could do it. It's just so loud.
There
are
are annoying fans in every single fan base. There are annoying traditions in every single fan base. I did find it incredibly rich that I don't even want to say his name, but he's a clown out of Barstool, who had the gall. He's a Mississippi State fan. Had the gall to complain about the Vandy Whistler. It's like, hello,
you ever heard that cowbell?
Cowbells, you freaking moron.
And they ring them for everything.
It was rich.
The first Razorback football game I ever went to was against Mississippi, and that was my experience.
Against Mississippi or Mississippi State?
Mississippi State.
Okay,
It was at
the Rebels would never lower themselves to anything dealing with a farm. No way.
Those salsas were really good, though, you got from there.
Those are tasty, right?
They were tasty.
I like Starkville. I don't mind it there. I just hate the cowbells.
Yeah,
All right,
definitely hate the cowbells. My first up, we just talked a little bit about the NBA. Got to give a big up to Giannis Antetokounmpo. 40 points, 13 rebounds, and beating the favorite Nets. Which coming into the NBA playoffs was the team to beat. If they could stay healthy, they were looked at almost as the brand new super team, the new Miami, the new LA, basically any team LeBron's been on since he's left Cleveland type of team. And for Milwaukee to be able to get it done is my big up. My first down, and I hate to call this person out by name. I only know her first name, but I have to give it down to Emily from Magic Springs Park. So at Magic Springs, I did not know this. You can only drink alcohol in designated areas. There are 2 designated areas. I did not know that. There are no signs as you enter said area. So I am at the beer garden on Saturday. Don't have my phone on me. Parents and brothers sent me as the beer getter to go get the beer and bring them back, right? So I get up there. Emily sees me. Nobody else is in line. She sees me walk up to the bar by myself. She hears me ask for 4 beers and proceeds to not tell me that I had to sit there and drink them without leaving, to where I had 3 Budweisers and a Bud Light, grabbed them all, turned around, and a man said, "Sir, you can't leave." And I went, "But I just bought these."
Well, now for the next hour, you're sitting here.
Yeah. Actually, not
Or
the
how
next
long does
hour.
it take you to drink 4 beers?
For me, probably longer than
4 16 ounces. I got it down in 15. First two were pretty easy. And there's a guy there from Steamboat, Colorado, who's cheering me on a bit for the first 2. So I'm a big Budweiser guy. Don't like Bud Light very often. I'll drink it if it's free.
Heavy.
But I'm a Bud heavy man, a diesel only type of person. So I get through the first 2 Budweisers, thinking I'm good. All right, I want to at least try to enjoy one of them. So I'll leave the 3rd Budweiser on the back end. Get halfway through the Bud Light, and stomach just feels like it expands and explodes. And I just had to sit there, and I just look at Emily, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I don't know if I've ever hated somebody that has served me alcohol more than I hate you right now. Because the thing is, it's not, I don't have a problem with that's your rule. If that's your rule, that's your rule. You should tell me before I order for $24 worth of beer.
So you went on roller coasters immediately after that, right?
No. I had to go sit down.
Was there a concert or something Saturday?
Yeah, Vanilla Ice was
That's
playing.
okay. Vanilla Ice was at Magic Springs.
Mr. Van Winkle?
And you saw him.
I did not see him.
Oh, you went all the way to Magic Springs and Vanilla Ice was there and you didn't watch him?
Here's the thing. You know he's going to hold Ice Ice Baby till the end. And probably
he's got 2 songs. Ice Ice Baby and Go Ninja, Go Ninja.
Yes, obviously everyone
knows
knows
play
that
that funky music, White Boy too. So that was on the B side.
That's a cover song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know he's going to save those 2 songs to the end. Probably going to make you ask for an encore to get Ice Ice Baby. He's going to draw every ounce out of that song because that's the only song everybody knows. And I didn't really feel like sitting there having to pretend that I like Vanilla Ice just to hear Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah. Well, you could have drank 4 more beers just sitting there while you were watching them. Second up for me, I'm actually going to say, way to go, Buccos. The Pirates won 2 games against Cleveland over the week. Like, how does this happen? It's a good Cleveland team. They took 2 out of 3. Probably should have won all 3 games. I don't know how that happens. They'll probably get back to losing soon. Just so I can still do How Bad Are the Pirates today, please? Can you help me out? Second down, Ben Simmons has got to be like the least popular quote-unquote star in the town that he plays in now. After doesn't want to shoot, doesn't want to dunk, shot 33% from the foul line during the postseason. And I got to say, like, Philadelphia is the most difficult city to be to play in when you're being hated. And they're going to hate on you 8 times out of 10. They will love you at some moments.
They hate Santa Claus.
Well, they did boo Santa Claus. Now, ask a Philadelphia sports fan about that, and they're going to have all kinds of defensive reasons to come back at you. Oh, by the way, another thing about Philadelphia, like this is a city that their favorite athlete is a movie character, Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me you've seen Rocky.
Yes, I've seen
Very
all
good.
of them.
Very
Rocky
good.
4 is my favorite.
We had to bully Ty Richardson into finally watching Rocky in September. That's another story for another time.
They thought that was a movie was a biopic.
I've seen them all. Rocky 4 is favorite, then probably the original, then 3, then 2, and obviously 5 is crap.
5's my favorite.
What?
That's it.
Hell,
He
it's
just
the
likes
one he doesn't
Tommy
fight
Morrison.
in.
because he only likes the line, sue me for what?
Yeah.
It's the only reason he likes it. All right. What do you got?
All right, my next up, haven't talked a lot about it, John Rahm winning the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines. Obviously, not only is this his first major of his career, but to come back his first tournament after leading at the Memorial, basically was about to cakewalk through the weekend, had I think like a 7 or 8 stroke lead before the positive COVID test made him have to withdraw from the tournament. So for him to be able to come back and win arguably the hardest major on the tour, I mean, just huge props to him, and especially getting to celebrate with his wife and son, which that's been a big conversation around golf all years. How is John Rahm, new father, how is he going to try to balance being there for his child and also stay focused on golf? And obviously, he's done that pretty well. My second down, the process, it's dead. I mean, it is dead in the water. You bring in a guy like Doc Rivers, who has had a lot of success, not a lot of championship success, but has had a lot of success and knows how to work with players. And for Ben Simmons to take 3 shots in the fourth quarters of 7 games, it makes no sense. It absolutely, because in first quarter, he's good. Second quarter, good. Third quarter, he's had his third quarters this series has been phenomenal. How do you just get so nervous and so worried? Because obviously he was shooting 34% from the free throw line. How do you get that worried and just completely turn it off?
Pretty mental game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
All sports really are. Third up, Drew Smyly. Way to go, Drew Smyly. 5 2/3 hitless innings yesterday before needing the Atlanta bullpen to finish the Cardinals. Won his 4th game of the year. Nicely done. Third down, triple plays, 3 of them. 3 of them turned by the Yankees. 2 of them in the last 4 days. They ended Sunday's win with a triple play, and on Thursday they turned the first ever 1-3-6-2-5-6 triple play in Major League Baseball history. So some nutty stuff. I might have called 1 triple play in my whole life, and they've had 3 of them turned in not even quite half a season. Pretty cool.
That
By
is
the way,
pretty
I'll add
cool.
another down to the idea of just the term, the process. Like when you're naming your rebuild, like it's just a rebuild. It's not. They
You just
weren't
call it the rebuild.
They weren't the first team to tear down a team completely and set it on fire and get a bunch of draft picks and rebuild some way. It's cutesy.
Just
title.
stick with the old tried and true. Stick with the rebuild, the 5-year plan, and you can't go wrong. My last up goes to Logan and what's his father's name? Jeff Michaels. Logan Michaels, obviously the catcher for Virginia, hit his first home run of the season with his father in the stands on Father's Day, who is a cancer survivor. Just a really cool moment and gives you another reason of why sports are bigger than just box scores, why they're bigger than just winners and losers, of how much that's a moment that both him and his son are going to cherish for the rest of the life, that not only was his father able to beat cancer, but was able to be physically in Omaha to witness that moment and to see his son.
He drove in their second run later in the game,
He
too.
did.
Yeah.
See his son's team beat Tennessee 6-0. My last down goes to my Orioles. And it's not the fact that they're losing. It's the fact that they lost yesterday to the Blue Jays. They lost 7-4. The problem that I have is the Orioles social media made this big deal about Relish Man. There's this guy that when the Orioles scored, had his friends dump relish on him.
Oh, my gosh.
A big old buckets of relish. And it made no sense. Like, I'm supposed to celebrate that as a fan? That's what you want me to watch on your Twitter account?
Relish Man.
It was so weird.
Is there a song by Led Zeppelin or by Def Leppard, Pour Some Pickles on Me?
Pour some relish on me.
That would work, wouldn't it?
That would work.
That's disgusting.
Ugh.
Yeah, might as well.
Especially in the heat.
Don't wear headphones while you're doing that either. We're going to wrap halftime up after this.
Hello, my name is Sidney Moncrief. I've taken over 10,000 shots during my career, and one of them is the COVID-19 vaccine. It's safe, it's effective, and it will allow us to return back to normal. Let's vaccinate Arkansas so we can all get back in the game. It's the easiest shot you will ever take.
Save lives. Get your vaccination. Learn more at healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Chris Dooley for a free insurance review. 646-6792.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Whether it's a game day
a holiday, office function, or your family lunch or dinner, Whole Hog Cafe Fort Smith is ready to serve you their award-winning barbecue and sides. Dine in or call either of the Whole Hog Fort Smith locations, Borough Road or Phoenix Avenue, or go online to wholehogfortsmith.com and check out their buddy packs and party packs. Both Whole Hog locations are currently open 11 till 6, Tuesday through Saturday. Experience award-winning barbecue and sides at Whole Hog Cafe today.
Evans Body Shop is ready to work for you. Bring us your cars, your trucks, your SUVs, and we will get them back to like-new condition just in time for all of the good times that come with spring and summer. No time to come by for an estimate? Visit our website and utilize our mobile estimating tool. We will keep you updated and informed throughout the repair process, and you can pick up your freshly repaired and detailed vehicle with the peace of mind that our lifetime paint warranty provides. Come by and see us today at 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Each day we see familiar faces who have supported us from the beginning because they see the benefits of an active lifestyle. We're also always meeting new customers who are taking their first steps towards making running or walking a part of daily life. We have the opportunity to share in their successes and help them achieve their goals. The people of Fort Smith and the River Valley are why we believe we were voted one of the best running stores in America. Visit us and see how we can help you. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
This is ESPN 95.3.
It's a big job just getting by with 9 kids and a wife. But I've been working, man, dang near all my life, and I'll keep on working.
Tate gets it back to Moses Moody. Freshman of the year in the conference. The fake, the lean, he fires and hits the deuce. And that's one of your problems. Moody's one of those guys who can make tough shots. That was pretty good defense. Really nice offensive execution there.
Halftime brought to you by the Fence Man. When it comes time for new gates, some fence repairs at your home, make the Fence Man your first call. They do it all, large commercial jobs and small residential repairs, everything in between as well. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial, residential, chain link, or custom wrought iron fencing. The Fence Man's the only one to call, 479-782-3936. Ask about 18-month same-as-cash financing. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. All right, wrapping up this first day with Drew and Matty. I'm Phil, of course.
So far, so good.
It's been, you can stick
good day
around,
one.
You can stick around for another day if you like.
Was this the 4th interview? I interviewed with you in Memphis. Did I have to interview again today?
No.
Was my job still in jeopardy?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Yeah, I don't have any decision power here anyway. I don't think anything that could have happened on that last show you did at Sports 56 could have ruined any of it. So you've sent me a link here, which I've clicked on, to Big Game Boomer rankings on the Twitter.
Yes,
I do love the Twitter. I'm a fan of it. It's my only social media that I really pay very much attention to. And Big Game Boomer, I've seen some of these lists. I didn't realize where it came from. He must be a Sooners fan or Sooner fan.
He's out of Atlanta. I know that, but I think he's a Sooners alumni. And the list that he puts together, most of them are pretty good and pretty accurate. I do love when he loves to take shots at Alabama for, like, he does best food, types of food in each college town. And for Alabama, he always puts fast food places and chain restaurants. He never puts an actual local hot spot type of a place. Always digs at Alabama. And
McDonald's is great in Alabama.
I like his list, and it gives you something to, really think of. And this list is top 25 loudest baseball, basketball, and football stadiums. And
Arkansas is on 2 out of those 3 lists. And want to take a guess as to which one they're not? It would be football.
It would be.
Although, when they fill it up, when it gets filled up and the team's good, that place can rock.
Oh, I'm sure it can.
Really can rock. It's just been a minute.
I haven't been in Razorback Stadium. I've been in Razorback Stadium. It's been since about 2008 since I saw a Razorback game at Razorback Stadium.
I do feel Bud Walton Arena is underranked at 16, though. That's another thing. It's like Bud Walton Arena holds sound in a way that makes your ears ring. Like, and that's, I can't wait for this next basketball season.
And you can hear that through television broadcasts of how loud Bud Walton gets. But honestly, the biggest complaint that I have about the basketball list is Cameron Indoor is second. Cameron Indoor should be number one of how small and how compact and how those Cameron crazies are on top of each other.
It's just kind of nutty.
I personally hate Kansas. I mean, I will root against Kansas till the day I die.
That's a great building they play in, though. It really is.
I mean, yeah, Allen Fieldhouse.
I'm no Kansas fan either, but I have done a game in Allen Fieldhouse, women's game. So, I mean, it wasn't packed, but that place is really cool. And it's funny because, Assembly Hall, that's a large arena. Carrier Dome is the largest in the country. They've got the Carrier Dome ranked 5th. I think it's been a minute since the Carrier Dome necessarily was loud enough to say that it's the 5th loudest in the country. I don't know. And I'm putting my Razorback goggles on here and everything, but Bramlage Coliseum and K-State, louder than Bud Walton Arena. Cintas Center in Cincinnati of Xavier, really? I don't think so. And Bud Walker Stadium is ranked as the loudest college baseball park, which I can tell you. I mean, I've been at let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the top 10 stadiums they've got here.
Pretty good.
Arkansas is louder than all of those, for sure. And yes, those are Razorback goggles too.
Well, sometimes you got to put on your red and white blinders. No problem with it.
I really enjoyed the first show that we did today, Drew.
Did too.
I think we'll have a good time doing this for till the end of time. Matty, seal of approval?
I think it's going to work out.
Yes.
Let's do it again tomorrow.
And then again, and again, and again. And then maybe we need a 2-day break.
Forever. Forever.
For Matty T, for Drew, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most